Hello, this is the Through the Outhouse Window video blog. My name is Mark S.R. Peterson. I'm a writer, blogger, husband, and father, and not necessarily in that order of importance. What I'd like to talk about on this video blog is I wrote a blog about a month or so ago called The Perpetual Bell Curve on Becoming Published. And it's been getting a lot of traffic, but I'm not sure if it's getting the right traffic for me to kind of explain what I was trying to portray. If you actually look at a bell curve is like this, where you got majority of people in here, so you got a minority of people on this side and a minority of people on this side. And what I was trying to get at is when you're trying to become published, you're a writer, okay, you want to become published. My perpetual bell curve actually looks something like this. Now each one of these is not really a bell curve in as far as data. I think of these are like obstacles. Now obviously the more you do this, the more the obstacles become actually less because you're used to it. The first time you do this, you think just plain getting a story idea, which is probably the first hurdle, getting the idea, is a huge one. Once you pass that, you actually draw a line in the sand and say, alright, I have an idea, I have a story idea, now I'm going to write it. Hence, second hurdle. So, however big these humps are, and I put these perpetually smaller because typically as you go on, they actually get easier and easier to get at. Until you actually get to the publishing one, which I'll get to in a minute. So, the first one is plain just getting the idea. Are you going to run with it or not? Majority of people are not. So if you've decided to do it, to put your idea into action, you've now got past the first hurdle. Congratulations. Now let's hit the second hurdle. Now I didn't really do these, in scale or okay, it's these many hurdles. What I'm getting at is once you're past the first hurdle, your next one is to write a first draft, okay? Which can be daunting. I've done it several times, and the first time you do it, it's this huge, gigantic Mount Everest that you're trying to climb. And are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Myrna Lafferty on her podcast, I Should Be Writing, says, give yourself permission to suck. Absolutely suck. Just throw a bunch of crap on the page. Now granted, you do it long enough, like Malcolm Gladwell teaches, in his research he has the 10,000 hours. After about 10,000 hours, which roughly can be anywhere from 5 to 10 years, depending upon how many hours you actually do work on it, you actually become proficient and actually become an expert. So you're never an overnight success. So pick up Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers book. It's a fantastic book. But anyways, getting back to my thing, once you do the first draft, and let's say you get past that, that's another hurdle. That's another bell curve you've gotten past. So now what's the next one? A lot of people stop. So if you've made it past the idea and the first draft hurdles, well, now it's the editing hurdles. And the editing hurdles can be daunting as well. I mean, each stage of writing, of becoming published, is can be very daunting. So that's what I mean. I mean, you can think of each one as kind of like a bell curve, but not really a bell curve, but a hurdle to get over. And you can do it. Give yourself permission to just charge forward. It's going to take time. Nobody's ever an overnight success. I mean, give an example. read Read Stephen King's book on writing. I mean, seriously, read it. The first part is an autobiography, and if you really read it close enough, he spent many, many, many years writing. Probably writing a bunch of crap that didn't get published, and he probably himself would say, yeah, I agree, this is probably crap and should probably never see the light of day. But once he got past that and got to where he was proficient, then he was published. So like I said, that's the perpetual bell curve. As it's not really a bell curve, they're more like obstacles. You know, don't view these obstacles as insurmountable. But I want to tell you something. Here's a little secret. You get past it, in a way, you're kind of like on this side, because this is a majority. Here's a minority over here. You get past this. This is where most people do get stuck. You get past it, pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. You've actually got past. Now, if you can actually get past the idea hurdle, the first page hurdle, or the first draft hurdle, the editing hurdle, down to where you're getting it ready to be sent off and to be published, you are an elite of the elite. Now, whether you take the self-publishing route or the traditional publishing route, that's up to you. You're still an elite of the elite. Very few people get that far. Most people hit a hurdle and stop. Some people get past the idea and the first draft, and they never do anything with it. So give yourself permission to get forward. You know, plow through it. Let's say you don't like the story, go back and do another one. It doesn't matter. So once again, this is Mark S.R. Peterson. You can follow my blog. It's viewsfromtheouthouse.blogspot.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter. It's at Mark S.R. Peterson. You can also find me on Facebook. Just give me a friend. Friend me. It's Mark S.R. Peterson. Just search for it. So thanks for watching.